Most people believe freedom comes from money, independence, success, or escaping responsibilities. It doesn't. Freedom has nothing to do with where you live, how much you earn, or who answers to you. True freedom is psychological, so most people never experience it because they are imprisoned by something they don't even realize controls them. The truth is this: you will never be free as long as you need something. From others: approval, validation, permission, recognition, acceptance. The moment your sense of self depends on external response, you surrender your freedom. From that point on, every decision is filtered through fear. What will they think? What if I disappoint them? What if I'm judged? What if I'm rejected? That is not living. That is performing. The first prison is external validation. When your worth depends on praise, you become a servant to opinion. You say yes when you mean no. You explain yourself when silence would be stronger. You stay where you're not respected because leaving feels risky. A free mind doesn't need applause to move. It doesn't negotiate its identity. It doesn't outsource confidence. Until you detach your worth from reaction, you will always be controlled. The second prison is fear of discomfort. Most people don't fear failure. They fear emotional discomfort. I avoid hard conversations. They avoid solitude. They avoid responsibility. They avoid truth. But growth lives inside discomfort. Avoidance turns temporary pain into permanent limitation. You cannot be free if you are afraid of being uncomfortable. Discomfort is the price of independence. The third prison is unexamined beliefs. Most of what you believe was inherited, not chosen. Beliefs about success, beliefs about relationships, beliefs about money, beliefs about what is possible for you. If you don't question your beliefs, you live someone else's life. Freedom begins when you ask, who taught me this? Does this belief serve me? Is this actually true? Until then, you are following invisible rules you never agreed to. The fourth prison is emotional reactivity. When your emotions control your actions, anyone can control you. Anger pulls you into conflict. Fear pulls you into avoidance. Desire pulls you into attachment. Guilt pulls you into obedience. Free person feels emotion but does not surrender authority to it. They respond instead of react. They choose instead of collapse. Emotional regulation is not suppression, it is sovereignty. The fifth prison is attachment to identity. Most people cling to who they think they are. It's the nice one, the strong one, the successful one, the victim, the misunderstood. But identities become cages. When you are attached to an identity, you resist growth because growth threatens familiarity. Freedom requires the willingness to let old versions of yourself die. The sixth prison is the need for control. Trying to control outcomes is exhausting. Trying to control people is impossible. Control creates anxiety. Acceptance creates clarity. The paradox is this: the less you try to control life, the more control you gain over yourself. And self-control is the only control that matters. Here's the truth most people avoid. Freedom is not given. It is taken. Taken from fear. Taken from conditioning. Taken from approval addiction. Taken from emotional dependency. Freedom begins the moment you stop asking, is this allowed? Start asking, is this aligned? When you no longer need permission to be yourself. When discomfort no longer scares you. When opinions lose their power. When identity becomes fluid. When emotions stop running your life. That is freedom. Not escape. Not rebellion. Not isolation. Clarity, self-trust, inner authority. And once you taste that level of freedom, you will never trade it for comfort again. If this helped you see your mental chains more clearly, follow for more psychology and philosophy that dismantles them.